When you read 2 Samuel 23, it feels like a closing chapter. It begins with what scripture calls the last words of David. And what's striking is this: David doesn't glorify himself. He says the Spirit of the Lord spoke through him. He speaks about a ruler who fears God. He points to everlasting covenant made with him. At the end of his life, David isn't celebrating his strength. He's acknowledging God's faithfulness. That's humility. But then the chapter shifts. We're given this long list of mighty men warriors who fought bravely, stood alone in battle, and risked everything for the kingdom. And it reminds us of something important. David's kingdom was not built by a solo hero. It was built by a faithful people who believed in what God was doing. Leadership is never isolated. Legacy is never individual. And then at the very end of the list, there's the name, Uriah the Hittite. Not highlighted, not explained, not anything, just listed. But we know that name. Uriah wasn't just Bathsheba's husband. He was one of David's mighty men, one of the loyal, one of the brave. And that quiet inclusion tells us something sobering. The Bible does not erase the failures of its heroes. David was courageous. David was anointed. David was used by God. And David sinned deeply against one of his most loyal men. Scripture holds both truths side by side. Why? Because the story isn't about a perfect king. It's about a faithful God. 2 Samuel 23 shows us a kingdom marked by humility, community, and honest accounting. And it reminds us the legacy will include the people who stood beside you and the mercy that carried you when you failed.